Good morning. Good morning. Please be seated. Students, you may take your blazers off. Members of the graduating class, if you are called forward for an award or a prize or to receive your diploma, then you need to put your blazer back on. And if everyone could please check to make sure that their devices have been silenced. Thank you. Welcome to the 215th commencement ceremony of Wilbraham and Monson Academy. My name is Brian Easler, and I consider myself the luckiest head of school in the world because I get to be here with all of you at this amazing school and to participate in this celebration of our graduating class and all that they have accomplished in their time here. We are thrilled to see everyone here today to join us on this special occasion for the class of 2019. Before we begin, I'd like us to quietly reflect in silent meditation. Everyone here is fortunate. We have many things for which we can be thankful. We have gathered together on this day people of many faiths and beliefs, families from around the globe, to support and celebrate as one the accomplishments and the bright future of our students. Because they hold the keys to the days and years ahead, we have faith in their ability to unlock the potential of the world for us all. To live in peace, to treat one another fairly, to seek to understand before we seek to blame. Let us ponder in silence for a moment our love of them and the promise that they represent to the world. I would like to point out several special guests who are with us this morning. We have Ms. Linda Griffin, who is a current board member. These folks are sitting in this area over here. Mr. Rodney Lebrecq, former head of school. Mr. Eric Anderson, a former board member. Mr. Don Collins, former board member. Mr. Ron Maznicki, former board member. We also have with us today Dr. Matthew Opoku Prempa, who is the Minister of Education in Ghana, the home country of our very own Jojo Noel Michael Addy. Thank you for making the journey to celebrate with us, sir. Two of our special guests are on stage with us. Our commencement speaker today is Mr. Mark R. Schenkman, who is also the Vice Chair of the Board of Trustees. I will have a more formal introduction of Mr. Schenkman before he speaks, but I wanted to point out now, before we begin, that he is a member of the Monson Academy class of 1961, and that this year marks his 50th consecutive year of service on our Board of Trustees. Some of you may someday sit on our board, so to put it in perspective, especially for anyone who doesn't understand how nonprofit boards work, being a board member isn't easy. Unlike a corporate board, members of nonprofit boards receive no compensation for their duty. They are actually expected to contribute to the school significantly every year as part of their board service. It is purely a volunteer activity, and it is often a labor of love. The reason they do it is because they value the influence that the school had on their lives, and they want to make sure that the opportunity to attend is available to others in perpetuity. What makes Mr. Schenkman's board service particularly remarkable is the sheer stamina involved. For someone to give back to their school in this way, giving of his time, attention, and financial resources for 50 consecutive years, it's unheard of. Additionally, Mr. Schenkman joined the Board of Trustees around the time of the Monson Academy and Wilbraham Academy merger. The school faced tough times in those years that followed not only because of the challenges inherent in the joining of any two institutions, but also because this was the merging of two schools, in our case, that had been arch rivals for decades. In addition, both of the merging schools were all boys at the time, and they decided to simultaneously become co-ed. Challenging times for sure. His work for those years, at times with the current and former board members also with us today, created the solid foundation on which we now build, quite literally, with projects like the Athenaeum. None of what we are accomplishing today as a school or as a graduating class would have been possible without Mr. Schenkman's unwavering commitment and support. As a special treat, we also have Mr. Schenkman's roommate and best friend from Monson Academy, Dr. Ray Anton, a more recent addition to our Board of Trustees, who is here to confer the diplomas on our graduates. As they sit here together on the commencement stage, as they did on a similar joyous day in 1961, please join me in giving them a warm welcome and showing them how much we appreciate them. It is my honor now to present the valedictory, or the farewell address. This is essentially my last chance to give some parting words of advice to the assembled members of the graduating class. Not only because they are still trapped on stage, but also because they will never all be gathered together like this again, ever. That can be a sad and sobering thought for us, and we remind them of it often in these last few days, because we want them to appreciate their time. This is because they will soon scatter to the far reaches of the globe and engage in new and exciting challenges and opportunities. And even though they will come back to visit, they will not do so all at the same time. We are so very grateful for the time they have spent with us here at WMA, and we look upon their graduation with the bittersweet mix of joy for their future and sadness that we will lose them from our daily lives. Here you are, members of the class of 2019. You have been forged in the fires of Wilbraham and Monson Academy. You have been pushed beyond what you thought your limits were, and you have redefined your limits as a result. You have been tested by us, by yourselves, and you have come through those tests with a better understanding of what you believe in, what you represent, and literally tempered who you are and who you intend to be. So, there it is, right? Game over. Nothing left to do. You're a finished product, perfected in every way and ready for whatever comes next. Now you know who you are and your place in the world, and it's time to begin your lifelong journey of simply following the prescribed course of action for the kind of person you have now determined you are supposed to be. Wrong. I present to you that this is only the beginning. You have certainly established a firm foundation from which to grow, but you will most certainly continue to grow and to become. You will continue to determine who you are and your place in this world, whether or not you choose to embrace it as potential for change. And I encourage you to do just that. Embrace the daily opportunity to continually determine who you are. You see, oftentimes the things we do in life come to define us. This is a natural outcome of throwing ourselves fully into something. You, for example, are all soon to be prep school graduates, a label which comes for some people with certain expectations and certain judgments. Labels like this, and there are many of them, have the potential to become such a part of our identity that at times it closes our minds to the possibilities outside that definition of ourselves. What I'd like to talk about today is how those definitions, with the judgments and labels that come with them, can restrict us from living the fullest lives. As an example, one of the things that defines me is my military experience. Most of you know this about me. It is utterly unavoidable because that experience was significant and at a very developmental time in my life, immediately after high school. This is not a bad thing in itself. The military, like anything else, requires that we adopt a certain worldview in order to function well in that role. In this case, as with WMA at times, it takes a certain mindset to deal diligently with unpleasant tasks and to withstand hardship and discomfort while maintaining our discipline and focus to the task at hand. There's nothing wrong with creating our identities in this way. It is necessary and natural and very useful for staying focused and committed. The problem, you see, is that sometimes we attach judgments to those labels that hinder our ability to fully explore other perspectives and learn whether or not we like them, agree with them, or could maybe even believe in them. There are any number of politically charged examples I could use, but for the sake of our celebration today, I'll keep it more simple. During my time in the military, I discovered that I love reading literature. There's a lot of downtime when you're deployed, a lot of waiting for the next thing to happen. When my buddies would ask me what I was reading, I would say I was reading about Vikings or surviving in the wilderness, or something similarly attuned to what I perceived as acceptable reading material for the life of a soldier. I often was reading about those things, but not always. For example, I was afraid to tell them when I was reading Shakespeare, though it was Titus Andronicus, and spoiler alert, everyone dies, so it probably would have been okay. But I was afraid to tell them because of how I thought they would judge me if they knew I was reading Shakespeare, and I was assuming what they might think about a person who reads Shakespeare and whether that kind of person was a good fit for the kind of person I was supposed to be. Can you feel all the judgment going on here in my mind? In my own mind, remember, this is just about me. I was afraid that they would think I was some kind of thespian and not up to the serious task of being a soldier. Utterly ridiculous, right? This is how our minds can work, however, when we assign ourselves labels which are laden in our own thoughts predominantly with judgment. The real risk here, however, is not the labels themselves, but the small day-to-day decisions that we make based on those judgments that hold us back from seeing things differently, from trying new things, from listening to other perspectives. It is in this way that we limit our ability to live more fully. You all have, and will continue going forward, become things with labels and judgments attached, both internal and external. You are athletes, AP students, record setters, scholars, musicians, delegates, artists, writers, mathematicians. You have all made mistakes along the way, and you will continue to do so for the rest of your life. You will become bankers, lawyers, priests, doctors, CEOs, politicians, teachers, researchers, salespeople, members of affinity groups or political groups or social action groups, or perhaps even a head of school. You can hear the expectations and judgments in your head, can't you, with all of these labels? But it doesn't need to be that way. This is mostly self-induced. I'm not suggesting that you like everything, or that you try everything, or that you agree with everything. I'm suggesting that you avoid getting so rigidly locked to one way of thinking, especially with labels and judgments attached, that you rob yourself of the full life experience you deserve and that waits for you. I encourage you to avoid becoming so closely tied to who you think you are or who you think you should be that you close doors for yourself that could be amazing. Be open to exploring new sides of yourself, new possibilities. Put the word yet at the end of every thought that has the word can't in it. Be willing to let others, who you didn't expect, impress you and influence you. Listen to your critics and your doubters for the bits of wisdom in the words that their words may carry. But don't get so tied up in them that you close yourself off. Same is true for those who support you. You have all blossomed here at WMA, transformed and created yourself, in a sense, into a person that appeals to you. Or, not completely yet. We love who you are, and it has been so rewarding to see you become who you are today. I'm encouraging you to never stop discovering who you are. Be true to yourself. Make a life that fully explores what you have to offer the world. Follow your own heart and not your assumption of someone else's. Thank you, and good luck. We will now have a musical performance from our chamber ensemble. Thank you, Chamber Ensemble. We will now award the major prizes. At the recommendation of the faculty, the head of school presents the Head of School Award to the member of the graduating class who, because of their performance in all areas of school life, has served as a role model for younger students and whose positive contributions to the school community have been extensive and exemplary. This year we have two. Since Adam Kugelmass arrived in the 6th grade, his strong intellect, engaging demeanor, and exceptional work ethic are qualities that have come to define him. He has continued to impress us with his tenacity, his genuine concern for others, his marked level of maturity, and an ability to relate to peers and adults alike. In short, Adam's unwavering positive influence and overall impact on the Wilbraham and Monson Academy community has been remarkable. A consistent high or highest honors student, Adam has ratcheted up the complexity of his course load in each year, culminating in one of the most rigorous course schedules this year, including 4 AP and 2 honors level courses. And last year, he accepted the challenge of AP US History, widely regarded as one of our most challenging courses, after which Adam earned a 5 on the AP exam and was selected as the recipient of the Barber Prize in History awarded to the top AP US History student. Adam's academic record is even more impressive in view of his many roles on campus. He was a 4-year and leading member of Gold Key, our admission guide program. Last fall, he founded the Jewish Student Alliance, a group open to all faiths and designed to promote understanding and cultural exchange. Adam's experience as a residential advisor in the summers compelled him to be elected to student government, first as a junior class representative, and this year as student body president. A member of varsity wrestling since the 7th grade, Adam has served as team captain since his sophomore year, as well as his multi-year leadership as team captain in 2 other varsity sports, cross country and track and field. Adam's qualities as a leader, especially his ability to lead older and more developed teammates, is impressive. Adam has also distinguished himself by his several coaches awards, which recognize exceptional work ethic and dedication. In light of his many meaningful contributions to our school community, it was no surprise when Adam was selected by the faculty as the recipient of the prestigious Trustee Award last year, which is given to the junior who best exemplifies excellence and scholarship character combined with achievements in other fields. And I just have to throw this story in because it's how I will always remember Adam. I traveled to an away cross-country meet last year or the year before. I think it was at Marianapolis, but it doesn't really matter. It was one of the away meets. And so I went to the finish line, like 100 yards from the finish, and I was just kind of hanging out there, and runners started to trickle in, and so then there were 2 of the opposing team runners that came through, and then Adam was right on the heels of the second one back. And so, feeling like I needed to do my duty as a fan, I yelled, "Let's go Kugelmass!" And I didn't really expect much of a response, but he turned and looked me right in the eye and went, "Ah!" and then hauled ass and caught and beat both of them. I know Adam will show the same level of commitment next year at McGill University. By vote of the faculty, this Head of School Award goes to Adam Kugelmass. Selena Rivenarder is a born leader who has used language as her tool and has channeled her through her poise, strength, and passions to enrich the Academy for herself and others. She has taken 6 AP classes and 5 honors level classes, but despite her rigorous coursework, she has earned a place in the Academy's high or highest honor roll every marking period since the 7th grade. Selena is a particularly gifted writer, a talented poet whose words and works have earned the praise of teachers, awards in scholastic competitions, and the honor of publication. As a sophomore, Selena was accepted to attend the Middlebury, New England Young Writers Conference. And this year, Selena was approved to undertake a rarely allowed independent study in poetry in addition to AP Literature. The poetry course was structured by the Modern and Contemporary American Poetry class of the Kelly Writers House at UPenn. And Selena took full advantage of that remarkable opportunity. Selena's academic prowess was identified early on when she was selected as a global scholar. And she has used her sharp intellect as a key 4-year member of WMA's Harvard Model UN delegation and a head delegate who is skilled, passionate, and articulate in her guidance of new students in the class. Outside of WMA, Selena studied karate for 10 years and earned her 3rd degree black belt and an instructor's certificate. She wrote, "From karate, I learned perseverance, discipline, and confidence, which have helped me in all areas of my life." After stopping karate, Selena channeled her physicality into rugby. She worked through a 2-year process of incorporating our team at WMA almost single-handedly, with her usual grace, charm, intelligence, and perseverance, and just made it happen. Girls rugby exists now at WMA quite literally because of Selena. On Prize Day last May, Selena was awarded the Davison Prize for a marked capacity for leadership, cooperation, and helpful influence on school life. And we know that the folks at the University of Massachusetts at Amherst will be every bit as thrilled with her influence there as we have been here at WMA. By vote of the faculty, Selena Rivernider is the recipient of the Head of School Award. And now, Mr. Eric Kinbloom, our Dean of Studies.
Thank you, Mr. Easler. The Harriet Jones Nelson Trust Award. In 1938, Mr. Frank G. Nelson of Monson's class of 1869 established a trust fund in the memory of his mother. The terms of the trust fund state, there shall be paid each year a sum of money to the member of the graduating class who has the highest scholastic average for the last 2 years of his or her academic course at the Academy. As I say every year, this award is highly quantitative and is all about the numbers. And although Jackson has amassed an impressive set of numbers, there is always more to a student than their grades. However, I would be remiss if I didn't mention his grades these last 4 years, which include 3 A minuses, 10 A's, and 12 A pluses. Yeah, I'm going to let that sink in for a moment. Jackson's teachers had this to say about him. Jackson is a front row kind of guy. He is a low key with a consistent level of energy that is devoted to learning and the pursuit of intellectual engagement and the improvement of his academic skills. Jackson shows a strong affinity for the subject matter at hand and clearly a superior intellectual ability to match. The first words that come to mind about Jackson are scholarly, probing, unassuming, and passionate about learning. He is never satisfied with just knowing the answer. He strives to understand the why behind each concept. Jackson truly embraces learning. Jackson has earned many accolades and has walked to this platform many times during his career at the Academy, including AP Scholar with Distinction, Barber Prizes in Biology, AP Human Geography, and AP Chemistry, and yesterday he was inducted into the WMA chapter of the Cum Laude Society. Jackson's career here has been impressive, to say the least, and now he can put a capstone on his career by earning the highest scholastic average for the last 2 years, making him our top student. Jackson will be taking his passion for learning to the University of California, Berkeley next fall. It is great honor I award this year's recipient of the Harriet Jones Nelson Trust Award to Jizi Jackson Yen. And I would like to introduce Ms. Guindeau, our Dean of Students.
The Dr. George E. Rogers Scholar Athlete Award. In 1966, the Monson Academy faculty established the Dr. George E. Rogers Scholar Athlete Award to honor a member of the graduating class for scholarship, participation, and sportsmanship in athletics. Anya Axis models leadership in her extensive commitment to the sport of swimming. Anya broke 8 school records and has won 7 New England titles. Her dedication to individual and team goals is remarkable. This winter, I was talking with a student at sit-down lunch and asked how the swim season was going. They explained how there are 2 types of really good swimmers. The first prepare for a race and are isolated, alone, that kind of in-the-zone athlete. The second type are the extroverted energizers. Whenever you see Anya, you know she's the energizer. She's smiling, giving a high five, or that combination that swimmers do when it's like a yell, cheer, coaching to someone in the water, encouraging them to finish a grueling swim event. Her teammate described Anya not only as a team captain, but another coach. As a scholar, Anya's transcript includes 4 AP and 6 honors classes. Previously, in her last 2 years, she earned silver medals on the National Latin exam. This spring, she earned a gold medal and a Maxima Cum Laude certificate on the 2019 National Latin exam. Mr. Davanzo states, "It may be easy to lose sight of the hours and the effort Anya puts into succeeding, as graceful as she is. But today is the day we tell her that she has earned the respect of her peers and the faculty for being an outstanding athlete, a tremendous student, and a great leader on our campus." Kenyon College is lucky to have Anya next year. I would like to welcome Anya Axis to the stage. The Berube Prize is given each year by the parents of Kenneth A. Berube, Monson class of 1961, to that student who best exemplifies determination and dedication to duty of Kenneth A. Berube. Kenneth was an outstanding student and worker at Monson Academy. After attending Brown University, he served as a Marine Corps captain until he was shot down by enemy gunfire in South Vietnam. He was awarded the Distinguished Flying Cross for heroism and achievement, the Air Medal with 10 gold stars, the Purple Heart, the Vietnam Service Medal, the National Defense Medal, and the Vietnam Campaign Medal. It is rare to find a person like Eric Coelho, so involved in and concerned about his community, and in fact expects to dedicate their life to civil service. From day one of his senior year at orientation, he embraced WMA, our expectations and tradition, while remaining active in his hometown community. 2 years ago, Eric attended an open house at the Summers Fire Department, where he has been involved with ever since. He attended a fire academy over the summer and is now a cadet volunteer with the department, where he helps around the firehouse, participates in drills and calls, giving countless hours of unpaid time to his community. His teachers describe him as consistent, honest, responsible, and capable of having in-depth and insightful conversations, all while connecting his experiences to real-world situations. In environmental science, his teacher, David Belsky, explains, Eric often speaks up in class. He has an impressive mind for science. With his background as a firefighter, Eric chose to talk to his classmates about the link between increasing wildfires and climate change, and was very effective at how he brought his presentation back to the carbon cycle. With his goals, words, and action, Eric truly embodies the determination and dedication to duty of this prize. The faculty would like to award the 2019 Berube Prize to Eric Coelho. I would now like to introduce Wally Swanson, our Dean of Faculty.
The gift of the class of 1965. In 1965, the graduating class of Wilbraham Academy established an award which should in perpetuity be presented to that member of the senior class who, through his or her period of attendance at the Academy, has shown through word and deed consistent evidence of a high degree of individuality with a concomitant unwillingness to follow the crowd. The class of 1965 called this award the Constructive Nonconformist Award. We have a path here called Broad Walk. It's the road that leads up to the academic buildings. The vast majority of us stay on it. Bossum does not. He heads straight up the grassy hill, running with intense speed like a gazelle, or more accurately, like a gazelle who happens to play classical piano and have a very cool beard. Besides being a New England champion runner in the 800, he also has sincere intellectual curiosity, not necessarily about what we're talking about at the moment in class, but a real curiosity to desire and know things. I was fortunate to serve as his teacher when he was a sophomore and see how his mind wrestles with significant topics and how his serious, angular face quickly breaks into a rich, warm smile. In fact, Bossum is a common Arabic name which can translate simply to one who smiles. His middle name, in fact, Qasim, means one who shares or distributes. The combination of these names is extraordinarily accurate and extremely prescient by his parents, as Bossum has shared and distributed his smile to others, providing laughter, joy, and above all else, an example of what it means to truly be yourself. The winner of the gift of the class of 1965 is Bossum Qasim Hernandez. The Billy Lake Prize. Established in 1976, the prize is awarded to that young man or woman of the graduating class intending to go on to further education who best typifies the personal characteristics of Billy Lake: selflessness and devotion to the academy, and perfection in devotion to duty. Like Bossum, I also looked up the origin of this young prize winner's name because I was so lucky before. And interestingly enough, the name JJ signifies an abbreviation for name or names that begin with the letter J. So that it did not work as well. John Jack Wills, JJ, loves to work hard and invests no less than 100% effort in everything he does. Enthusiastic, helpful, industrious, and curious are the words college counselor and swim coach Greg Walsh uses to describe him. He involves himself fully in classes, athletics, and outside endeavors at the highest level, looking to better himself and those around him. As a captain of the swim team, Jack is an official leader, pushing himself and his teammates to continually improve. His leadership is a tremendously positive force, as his hard work is only matched by his friendliness and sincerity. Outside of school, he works with his family business, started in the aftermath of the Monson tornado. The business, Tornado Fire Starters, creates fireplace starters out of downed and chipped branches with the mission of, quote, making something good out of twisted wood. Aside from being a scholar, leader, and entrepreneur, he has committed himself to a future career of care and nursing at the University of Massachusetts. Also spent this past spring interning with the Wilbraham Fire Department. By working with the fire department and having the small business creating flame starters, he is also quite clever regarding his own future job security. Swimmer, leader, scholar, entrepreneur, caregiver. By vote of the faculty, the Billy Lake Prize for selflessness and devotion to the academy and perfection in devotion to duty is awarded to J.J. Wilson. Now our Dean of Curriculum, Meg Hutchison.
The Pie Prize. The Pie Prize is awarded annually to the senior whose record of participation in non-athletic extracurricular activities has been extensive and exemplary. The recipient of this award has contributed to the WMA community in so many ways. She was a dedicated member of the school newspaper, Atlas, and became its editor-in-chief her junior year. She's led the writing staff and produced excellent news coverage of our school. Mr. Bill Wells, the co-faculty advisor of the Atlas, brilliantly and articulately summed up this student's accomplishments by stating, and I quote, "Abby is wicked awesome." He goes on to say, just like everything else she has been involved with at WMA, Abby Lacey has been a remarkable editor-in-chief, and we could always count on Abby to produce an interesting story. Mr. Tim Harrington states, she joined the Atlas staff as a sophomore and quickly became our go-to reporter on the hard news stories happening around campus. She did such a great job earning Mr. Easler's trust that she was able to develop her Inside Out column based on regular interviews with the head of school. Abby volunteered her time as a tutor for the WMA Writing Center and was a member of the Gold Key Council, participating frequently on student panels, conducting tours, and representing the school in the finest of manner. Abby's a talented dancer who is dedicated to her art, and she practiced several days a week at a studio outside of school. However, she also contributed to the WMA dance program each year. Multifaceted and multi-talented, Abby was also a top scholar, and she was inducted into the Cum Laude Society just yesterday. Abby, we thank you for all your contributions, and we wish you the best of luck next year at Northeastern. By vote of the faculty, the Pie Prize is awarded to Abigail Lacey. The Stephen D. Luckcraft Memorial Award. This award was established in 1954 by Mr. and Mrs. Edwards Luckcraft in memory of their son, Stephen D. Luckcraft, of the Monson class of 1951. The prize is awarded annually to the member of the senior class who has displayed in his or her daily actions and personal contacts a genuinely fine character, such as that of the boy in whose memory this prize is given. When I think of this student, I picture her sitting in my English classroom, listening intently to her peers, and then she would kind of tilt her head ever so slightly, a sign that she was about to say something brilliant, and then she'd use her little finger to push her glasses just slightly up her nose, and then she'd look up, and sometimes she'd close her eyes and she'd say, "Well, you know." Well, yes, Alyssa Gatteron, we do know. We know all about the grace and wisdom and poise and humor and genuinely fine character you shared with us these last 4 years. An honor roll student, Alyssa was also a global scholar, a Gold Key Council member, a member of Harmonia, and a prefect who always led by example. She was also inducted into the Cum Laude Society. Wallace Blake, head dorm parent, Miss Tez Presnell, exclaims, "Alyssa is friendly, outgoing, welcoming, trustworthy, and helpful. She can relate to everyone and builds connections easily. She's a role model for the underclassmen on how to be a good WMA citizen." Alyssa also played rugby and was manager of the girls' varsity basketball team. Mr. Darrell Brown says, "Alyssa's character is impeccable. I have dubbed her life coach. Since her sophomore year, she's had an uncanny ability to care for those around her, and she possesses an empathetic sense that makes her want to just help people. She's a special young lady with a special future ahead of her." We're grateful to Alyssa for making our community a better place, and we wish her all the best of luck at George Washington University in the fall. We will miss our WMA life coach and hope she'll continue to impress and impact others. By vote of the faculty, the Stephen D. Luckcraft Memorial Award goes to Well, you know, Alyssa Gatteron. And now I'd like to introduce Faculty Marshal Don Kelly.
Markell and Monson Class of 1898 Award. This prize is awarded each year to a senior at Wilbraham and Monson Academy who, in the opinion of the faculty, has made the greatest contribution through leadership, character, and courtesy. And also, the Owen David Dow Memorial Award. Owen David Dow, a member of the Monson Class of 1960, lost his life in the summer of 1962 in an airplane accident while he was engaged in a humanitarian mission. At Monson Academy, he was an all-around athlete, a fine scholar, and an excellent school citizen. Mr. and Mrs. Allen L. Dow, Owen's parents, established a fund under the terms of which the winner of the Markell and Monson Class of 1898 Award for Leadership, Character, and Courtesy will also receive this prize. Gorana Puzovic came to us from Serbia and has been a student here for 2 years. Let's check Gorana's report card in regard to leadership, character, and courtesy. Leadership. Gorana has demonstrated her leadership as well as her good sportsmanship as a captain of the girls' volleyball team and as a leader of the girls' rugby team. Character. As a dormitory prefect, she's done a marvelous job serving in Smith Hall. In this very responsible position, she earned the respect, trust, and admiration of the faculty dormitory parents, as well as the students living in the dormitory. Courtesy. One of the friendliest and most upbeat people on campus, she's been a blessing to our admissions department as a Gold Key tour guide for prospective students. As admission officer Darrell Brown has said, and I quote, "Gorana eats, drinks, and breathes the academy." Next year, she will attend the University of Wisconsin in Eau Claire, an even longer distance away from her native Serbia than WMA is. And there she will begin another journey, which she hopes will lead to medical school. As she's a true humanitarian like Owen David Dow, I think she would make a fine doctor. By the vote of the faculty, the Markell and Monson Class of 1898 Award and the Owen David Dow Memorial Award are presented this year to Gorana Puzovic. Our head of school, Brian Easler.
Although there is no hierarchy among the other various awards presented to the graduating class, the Chandler and Cushman Awards are regarded as the two highest honors presented at commencement each year. For each of these awards, the recipient's name is added to the bronze tablets displayed by the Dean's Office and the Dining Hall, respectively. The Cushman Award was the highest award at Monson Academy, and the Chandler Award was the highest award at Wilbraham Academy. We are honored to have here with us today Dr. Robert Cushman, great-grandnephew of Frank Chapin Cushman, for whom this award is named. In 1928, Mrs. Rufus P. Cushman presented the Academy with a bronze tablet with the inscription, "To honor right living achieved and to keep high purpose glowing in the soul of youth." It bears the name of Frank Chapin Cushman and the motto, "Live clean, speak true, work hard, play fair." And the inscription, "These were his ideals." The award is presented each year to that student of Wilbraham and Monson Academy who best lives up to them. Motivated, bright, caring, and a natural leader are just some of the characteristics that make Gokul Sivakumar a highly respected student at Wilbraham and Monson Academy. Arriving at WMA as a sixth grader, Gokul has impressed us with his maturity and genuine love for learning since day one. A highly intelligent student, Gokul has consistently been one of the top students of his class. He is also genuinely kind, possesses a warm personality, and a genuine desire to expand his horizons, and moves easily in many circles on our campus, while serving as a role model and a leader, helping to improve our school and make our community a positive place to be. Academically, Gokul has demonstrated that he is a quick and inquisitive learner who seeks to challenge himself in the most demanding curriculum. While Gokul sets his academic goals high and wants to do well, he is also truly enthusiastic about the learning process. He is a curious student and loves engaging with his teachers and peers to fully investigate and understand the class material and the world around him. He has done well across academic subject areas and seeks to make connections in all areas of his learning, whether it is AP Calculus or AP US History, AP French or AP Chemistry. His teachers comment that Gokul can be counted on to guide discussions, ask questions, listen in a way that benefits all of his classmates. He has earned a place on our highest honor roll every year since the sixth grade. Last year, he was named an AP Scholar with Distinction and by the College Board and earned the AP Capstone Diploma for his success in his AP Seminar and AP Research classes. Gokul's contributions to our school really are remarkable, and he has used his leadership skills to bring together students and to make our community a more positive place to be. Gokul truly cares about our school and is often chosen by our admission office to speak on panels or serve as a tour guide to students and parents considering WMA through our Gold Key Society, for which he has been selected to help advise new tour guides. Even Gokul's academic talent and his involvement in our community, he was selected to be a global scholar, and while his academic and extracurricular involvement is impressive, Gokul is down to earth. He has fun playing the guitar, learning new songs on his own, and also tearing it up with our jazz ensemble. Gokul has contributed a great deal to our school. He is a bright and extremely strong student and young man who is responsible, respected, and liked by faculty and students alike. We are sure he will have a similar impact on the community at Georgetown next year. When we think of live clean, speak true, work hard, play fair, we think of Gokul. By vote of the faculty, the recipient of the Frank Chapin Cushman Memorial Award is Gokul Sivakumar. The Chandler Award. Through the kindness of Major J. Weisheimer, U.S. Army, who died in France in October 1918, a bronze shield was presented to the Academy in 1915 in honor of his mother, Mrs. Cora Pease Chandler, a graduate of the Wesleyan Academy class of 1884. The Chandler Award is presented each year to that student who has shown the best Wilbraham and Monson Academy spirit during the school year, while excelling in character, courtesy, scholarship, and athletics. The whole package. Funky and cool, yet warm and approachable. A down-to-earth dreamer. Driven yet easygoing. A humble star. Maya Hutchison Jones is so many things, but mostly she is completely comfortable being herself. A conversation with her may lead to a discussion about a recent TED Talk that captivated her, or perhaps a story about practicing her Spanish skills during a school trip to Cuba. You may connect with her over a shared love for Wes Anderson films, scoring the best finds at the Goodwill store, or your favorite type of tea to drink. She would love to learn more about your favorite music and listen to your reaction to recent world events. thoughts on the latest lecture you attended, or simply hear about your day. She may also be content just to sit with you in quiet, perhaps while singing a song in her head. Engaged, academically talented, and open-minded are just some of the reasons why Maya is a highly respected and admired student at WMA. Maya has been a student here since the 6th grade. However, she has also gracefully managed the delicate balance of growing up on campus as a faculty child, independently carving her own path to success. Maya truly embodies all that we hope our students will strive for in terms of academics and community involvement. She is committed to success in the classroom, on our athletic fields, and in student life, helping to make the Academy a positive place to be. She is looked up to as a leader while still remaining unassuming, welcoming, and enthusiastic about all that she takes on. Maya is also the type of person who is completely willing to give of herself to improve her community, and she has done this in a variety of ways at our school. She is a force on our athletic teams, serving as a captain on both our varsity soccer and lacrosse teams. In the evenings, Maya can be found helping her peers in the Writing Center as a tutor. As a member of the Gold Key Society, Maya is considered one of our go-to student guides for her welcoming personality and the way she can make everyone feel comfortable. We just finished our couple of projects on campus, and we had a team of people on campus who wanted to get to know us better. Maya was one of the guides. These folks have experience with dozens, hundreds of schools, and one of them sent me an email afterwards and said, Maya Hutchison was the best tour guide I have ever had. This was a person with considerable decades of experience in schools. As a member of Mosaic Harmony, Maya has also distinguished herself with her beautiful voice. She can be found listening to and joining discussions in Harmonia, a student club that promotes tolerance and understanding of different cultural and societal perspectives. Maya's involvement and success as a student at WMA and her desire to learn in a variety of areas is a major reason why she was selected as a global scholar. Most importantly, in all that she does, Maya takes care of people while managing to maintain a centered sense of self. Maya is simply a wonderful person to know. She's fun to be around, thoughtful and caring. She works hard, contributes much, and is the type of student who will be an equally enthusiastic and positive force next year at Occidental College. By vote of the faculty, the recipient of the Cora Pease Chandler Award is Maya Hutchison Jones. Class speakers for commencement are not only selected by a vote of their peers from the graduating class, but also through a process where they present to and are confirmed by the faculty. This is a testament to the respect with which they are held in this community and the trust they have earned in their time here, and that is especially so with Selena Rivernider, who has been a member of our community since she entered in the 7th grade and was selected as the class speaker at WMA for her 8th grade graduation as well. In the last 6 years, Selena has consistently left us stunned with the power of her mind and the power of her words, which is one reason why we felt compelled to present her with the Head of School Award just moments ago. She is a remarkable young woman who we will miss dearly and who we are eagerly waiting to hear from now. It gives me great pleasure to introduce to you Selena Rivernider.
Thank you, Mr. Easler. Good morning. My name is Selena LeGrant Rivernider, and I am honored to be representing the class of 2019 today. When I began at the Academy in 7th grade, I was unaware of how it would change my life. And I know that I am not the only one. Among my peers sitting behind me, there are many stories like mine. Stories of growth and learning, of realized potential and happy memories. But today is not just to look back and reflect, it is to look forward and dream. I think the graduating class of Wilbraham and Monson Academy can do better than just dream, though. In fact, I stand here today to prove that not only will we be part of this grand world whose threshold we now stand upon, we will be leading it. This is easy to say. I'm sure that across the globe in the coming months, there are thousands of speakers at graduation ceremonies repeating my sentiment. I'm sure that it has been said in years past, this class is full of future leaders ready to change the world. I'm sure that anyone who has already had to attend a family member's graduation is rolling their eyes inwardly right now because here we go again. But don't worry, it's different this time. I have numbers. I've been to commencement here quite a few times as an underclassman. I've sat where some of you are probably sitting right now, in a blazer, just close enough to the edge of the tent to be in the sun, drenched in sweat. But I also knew since I was a freshman that I wanted to give this speech. And having listened to so many, I expected to be able to write this speech the summer before senior year even began. Not only did this expectation not take into account my massive inclination to procrastinate, it also ignored the fact that myself and my classmates were going to experience so much senior year. So, for the want of including how we all grew and changed this year, I waited to write this speech. In fact, it wasn't until my spring elective Introduction to Sociology class with Mr. Cook that I knew what I wanted to write about. By the way, that's the only class where I think the teacher is actually happy to have seniors in the spring trimester suffering from acute senioritis. Apparently, we tend to be edgy and candid in discussions. Anyway, one of the first topics we covered was Generation Z, which includes us. Generation Z, like every generation at one point, is often criticized by members of generations before it. We may or may not be accused of being addicted to social media, incapable of simple tasks without technology to help us, unable to socialize face-to-face, always being on that phone. Ouch. However, according to sociologists, we are the most connected, most global, and most diverse generation there ever was. And when we learned that, I couldn't help but think, my WMA class has to be the most connected, most global, and most diverse part of Generation Z. I'll give you the data. In the class of 2019, there are 19 countries represented. Roughly 60% of us speak more than one language. JoJo speaks 5. And in our class of 97 students, we have a combined social media following of well over 60,000. Now, I know it seems silly to tell you all how many followers we have, because sometimes, sure, we only use social media to post a selfie. You got me there. I did this morning. I looked good. The people needed to know. But beyond this, our followers represent the number of people who we can reach instantly. The second a news story breaks, it is posted, reposted, messaged, spread across millions of people within a matter of minutes. This can be positive or negative, as this can also lead to the spread of information. But us, we know what we're talking about. A heated debate of sensitive issues that requires extensive knowledge and careful, nuanced phrasing, that's just another day in class. I believe the majority of criticism Gen Z faces stems mostly from ignorance. Ignorance that in some cases can spark fear and even hatred. Our world has become rapidly more connected in our lifetimes. When we were young, we still had cassettes and CDs. Our parents had flip phones. Now, we have smartphones and global networks that connect us to our peers all over the world. To some, this is seen as no more than an opportunity to breed more conflict. How could a group of people who were raised differently, live their lives in different hemispheres, who think in different languages, ever get along? Well, I think we did a pretty good job here. I mean, it's just not intimidating to us. To us, differences are actually pretty common. Imagine walking into a large room. full of people you don't know, all at tables having full-blown conversations, each in a different language, so many, so loudly, that they're all merging together into this one clamor of unrecognizable words. To us, that's just Wednesday lunch. To some, that may be threatening. Often, Generation Z is criticized for losing our identities as we attempt to fit in with our peers, something that is seemingly impossible to an outsider, as we are also different. But we have been encouraged from the start to build our identities here. Identities not only based upon race, ethnicity, gender, or religion. While those are all important and those distinct identities are still celebrated here, we were encouraged to find other identities as well. Here, WMA is special because we were not born here. We chose to come here. We chose our friends, our academic interests, our extracurriculars. We were encouraged to put forth our best effort in succeeding. And in doing that, we were inevitably building not just skills to bring with us into the future, we were building ourselves. We are well aware of who we are and who we want to become. We are the global school, but that in and of itself isn't important. It doesn't matter how many countries are represented here if students of different nationalities never interact. It doesn't matter how many languages are spoken if we don't take the time to teach each other a couple words, even if they're just swear words. It doesn't matter how many opinions we hold unless they are both shared and respected. What matters is not the differences, but the connections that are made between them, not in spite of them. That is what we have learned to do here. When we were on teams together, in plays together, in classes and tables at the dining hall, we found common ground. When we all reached our hands in before a game to cheer, nobody was thinking of all the differences we had. In fact, we were united every time we yelled Titans, and the colors that mattered most to us at that moment were not those of our flags, but the red and blue we wore on our backs. When we walked to class together on rainy mornings, or snowy mornings, or icy mornings, we all had that hill and very cold feet in common. We have all smelled like the dining hall. We've all watched the classes before us, dressed in white and navy, walk proudly through the gates one last time, and it is now our turn. After we go through those gates, we are transitioning to the real world. A world that is ever-changing, becoming more connected, more global, and more diverse. And the first thing we will do when we are faced with this world full of people who are different than ourselves is to create common ground. We are the most connected, most global, and most diverse part of Generation Z, full of empathy, comfortable with the uncomfortable. We are leaders. In sociology, it is agreed upon that we act the way we do because of how we are socialized, basically how we are taught to be human beings. We are as incredible as we are because of the people who socialized us. And the first people to socialize us were our parents and our families. Later in life, our teachers and peers continue to influence the people we become. So, on behalf of my class, I would like to thank our parents. I would like to thank our families for giving us a foundation strong enough to grow upon. I would like to thank the faculty and our classmates for supporting us and encouraging us to reach higher and strive for more. I am proud to call myself a member of this graduating class. As we cross the threshold into adulthood, we will carry with us all that we have learned here, inside and outside the classroom. The world is changing, endlessly turning towards a boundless future. We are the reason why that future is so boundless. Congratulations, class of 2019. We did it.
Thank you, Selena. You represented your class well. Thank you very much. We will now have a musical offering from our audition-only singing group, Mosaic Harmony.
some remain. All these places have their moments with lovers and friends. I still can recall. Some are dead and some are living. In my life, I love them all. But of all these friends and lovers, there's no one compares with you.
And these memories lose their meaning when I think of love as something new.
Though I know I'll never lose affection for people and things that went before, I know I'll often stop and think about them. In my life, I love you more. Though I know I'll never lose affection for people and things that went before, I know I'll often stop and think about them. In my life, I love you more. There are places I remember all my life, though some have changed, some forever, not for better. Some have gone and some remain. All these places have their moments with lovers and friends. I still can recall. Some are dead and some are living. In my life, I love them all. In my life, I love them all.
Thank you, Mosaic Harmony. Lovely as always. Now it is my pleasure to introduce to you our commencement speaker, Mr. Mark R. Shankman. Mark Ronald Shankman, raised in Pawtucket, Rhode Island, graduated from Monson Academy in 1961. He received his Bachelor of Arts degree in Political Science from the University of Connecticut in 1965 and Master of Business Administration from the George Washington University School of Government and Business Administration in 1967. Mark then served as First Lieutenant in the U.S. Army Computer Systems Command from 1967 to 1969. Mr. Shankman also received a Doctorate of Human Letters, honoris causa, from the University of Connecticut in 2007. Mr. Shankman began his investment career in 1969. He was a research analyst and portfolio manager at Fidelity Management and Research from 1973 to 1979, and managed the first high-yield bond mutual fund at Fidelity. He became co-manager and vice president of the high-yield bond department at Lehman Brothers from 1979 to 1983. In 1983, he became president and chief investment officer at First Investors Asset Management, the largest high-yield asset management firm at the time. In 1985, Mr. Schenkman founded Schenkman Capital Management, Incorporated, where he currently serves as president and co-chief investment officer. With $26 billion of assets under management, the firm is considered one of the world's leading high-yield investment advisors with offices in New York, Stamford, and London. Mr. Schenkman is considered one of the pioneers in the world of leveraged finance with 42 years of experience. In 2002, he became a member of the UConn School of Business Hall of Fame. In 2018, Mr. Schenkman was inducted into the Fixed Income Analyst Society Hall of Fame, one of only 53 individuals to be recognized with this distinction. He has co-authored 2 textbooks on the high-yield market entitled High Yield Bonds, Market Structure, Portfolio Management, and Credit Risk Modeling in Leveraged Financial Markets. Additionally, Mr. Schenkman has been involved in many not-for-profit and philanthropic activities, including as an emeritus member of the Board of Directors of the University of Connecticut Foundation and former chairman of the board, a board of trustee emeritus at the George Washington University, vice chairman of the board at Wilbraham and Monson Academy since 1969, and is a board of advisor emeritus at the College of William and Mary, Mason School of Business. He currently serves as the treasurer at the Union League Club of New York and is on the board of trustees of the Museum of American Finance. Mr. Schenkman has built major collections of American political flags, U.S. paper currency, and American historical documents and memorabilia. In his free time, Mr. Schenkman enjoys moments on his boat named Portfolio. Mr. Schenkman is married to Rosalind. She's here with us today. They have 3 sons, Justin, Andrew, and Gregory, and daughters-in-law, Nancy, Shira, and Rebecca. They are proud grandparents to 10 loving grandchildren. As a financier, philanthropist, and collector, Mr. Schenkman's work ethic, integrity, and willingness to help others has served him well since his graduation from Monson Academy 58 years ago. Please join me in welcoming Mr. Mark Schenkman to the podium.
To the head of the school, Brian Easler, graduates of the class of 2019, distinguished faculty, staff, students, parents, and special guests. I am deeply honored to be your commencement speaker. Wilbraham and Monson Academy has a special place in my heart. I have a deep sense of gratitude to this academy because Monson Academy was the launching pad for my life's amazing journey. I received my diploma from Monson, it's hard to believe, 58 years ago. As I sat in the pew at the First Church of Monson, I knew I had 2 deep passions, a fascination with the stock market and a love of American history. Part 1 of my address is my Monson story, and I hope it will inspire a few students in the audience today. Looking back over the past 58 years, I realize time is precious and life moves swiftly. Graduating from Monson Academy has been the foundation of my life. My Monson education expanded my horizons, improved my study skills, taught me time management, and established lifetime friendships. By way of background, as Brian mentioned, I grew up in Pawtucket, Rhode Island, the birthplace of America's first factory. The public school system in the 1950s was at best mediocre. Every 3 years, the teachers' union would strike in April, denying students 2 months of basic education. Therefore, my parents decided to enroll me in a New England private school. However, in the 1950s, Jewish students were generally denied admission to many private schools. Wilbraham Academy and Monson Academy never had such quotas or discriminatory policies. In those days, teenagers had little influence in the school to attend. My mom and dad selected Monson because they were so impressed with two senior educators. Dr. George Rogers, headmaster at Monson Academy for over 30 years. He was a kind, gentle, and caring educator. My parents instantly connected with this mild-mannered and reassuring gentleman. The second, George Morrow, Director of Studies for over 30 years, housemaster, extraordinary teacher of Latin and math. He was a strict disciplinarian and a scholar who coincidentally grew up in Pawtucket, Rhode Island. My parents felt so comfortable leaving their son in the hands of two giants who could educate, nurture, and mold me. My life's achievements and my 50-year unwavering loyalty to Wilbraham and Monson Academy has been predicated on several life-altering events. First, at Monson, a major requirement was a senior thesis. Sam Hughes, a stern taskmaster who taught the Queen's English, required seniors to write a thesis on an important literary figure, such as Keats, Shakespeare, Chaucer, or Dickens. However, I requested an exemption. I was determined to write my paper on the New York Stock Exchange. Surprisingly, Mr. Hughes consented, but with one stipulation. I had to personally visit the exchange in New York City and interview floor brokers. My father arranged and accompanied me on the visit, and my eyes were opened forever. From that day forward, Wall Street was my destiny. To further my interest in the stock market, I engaged in conversations in the dining room table with faculty members, Henry Benton and George Morrow. Even though they taught French and Latin respectively, I still vividly remember discussing the opportunities and risks in the stock market and the prospects of three companies, United Fruit, Kodak, and Polaroid. Guess what? All failed. Interestingly, Mr. Morrow encouraged me to pursue my dreams. They recommended to my parents that they purchase a subscription to the Wall Street Journal and Business Week. As a resident of Mr. Morrow's dorm, I had the opportunity to discuss various business articles, but it was always after compulsory study time. Those occasions had a lasting impact on my life. Another passion of mine was ignited at Monson, the study of American history, which I have pursued with almost the same vigor as my business career. And it has resulted over the years, I now have assembled one of the largest collections of American political flags, banners, U.S. paper currency, and historical documents. During my life's journey, I was fortunate to be elected as an alumni trustee at Monson in September 1969. My earliest board meetings centered on the intense debate over a merger with rival Wilbraham Academy. It was a difficult environment in 1970 for the survival of all New England boys' prep schools. While losing the separate identity of Monson Academy was a sad experience, the merger with Wilbraham Academy in 1971 was inevitable given the turbulent times. However, I always felt an enduring obligation to offer my work, wisdom, and wealth to ensure that Wilbraham and Monson Academy remained a caring and nurturing school, providing the same opportunities that were afforded to me. Now for the second part of my address, which is entitled Striving for Success. Many commencement speakers might expound upon hot topics confronting society today: climate change, income inequality, geopolitical conflicts. However, I'd like to address something that is far more critical in solving societal problems: striving for success. Those who achieve success in their chosen field will make society a better place. Some people may become environmental scientists who will help further the green movement. Others may become entrepreneurs who will create well-paying jobs and therefore tackle income inequality. And finally, for those very courageous, become political leaders and are able to solve international disputes. But whatever career path you select, always strive to be the best you can be. The difference between success and failure in life is a very fine line. Some people are driven to success while others let fate dictate their life. Many people never achieve success. They talk about it, they think about it, but they don't plan for success. Success is not a destination. Success is doing ordinary things extraordinarily well. On July 1st, I will celebrate my 50th year on Wall Street. I'd like to share with you some of my major lessons that have shaped my career. There are really 5 steps to success, I believe, in life. Number 1, develop a strategic life plan. Anything in life is possible if you take the necessary steps to a stated goal. Build an impressive resume from today forward, attending the right college for you, obtaining internships, participating in extracurricular activities, building a network of connections, obtaining a good entry-level job, moving to a dynamic, growing community, obtaining professional certifications, acquiring new technology skills, traveling throughout the world, and learning about new cultures are all steps in building a life of achievement. But most importantly, don't let obstacles get in the way of your plans. Oftentimes, fear or rejection and failure creates inaction or immobilizes people to plan for their future. Life is filled with risks. One must take calculated risks in order to achieve success. Every person has different motivations. Most people have 2 or 3 motivating forces that drive the direction of their life. My experience has shown that if one does not know their motivating drivers, they will aimlessly go through life with few accomplishments and much unhappiness. Number 2, identify your niche. There are many bright and ambitious people in today's interconnected and diverse world. In light of the complexity and speed of change occurring in all fields of knowledge, one should identify or specialize in a unique endeavor that will give you an edge in the global marketplace. Number 3, learn how to market and believe in yourself. Become the CEO, the Chief Investment Officer, Chief Executive Officer of your life. First and foremost, you must believe in yourself and your abilities. Self-confidence is an essential element to one's success. However, in order to rise above the crowd, one's ability to communicate and market yourself and your abilities is an indispensable skill. Tell your unique story is vital in building a productive career. Verbal and written communications are powerful drivers in obtaining promotions and recognition. Number 4, develop passion and foster a positive attitude. Many people go with the flow. They do what is asked of them, but not much more. The key to elevating yourself is to go above and beyond expectations, no matter what the task. Very few highly successful people have a negative attitude or lack passion for their job or their abilities. Actively displaying and communicating your passion is vital to achieving success. And finally, the last, understanding time management. The most unexploited factor in one's life is time. Time is the great equalizer in everyone's life. Every person here has the same 24-hour clock. How one utilizes their 24 24-hour clock is the X factor or the secret ingredient in achieving success. You are what you do daily. For me, that has meant treating each day as a gift that cannot be wasted or taken for granted. Every person is precious. Every day is precious. By making today great, you make your life great. When you take care of today, tomorrow should take care of itself. The most valuable lessons that I have learned in my career is, number one, conventional wisdom is generally wrong. If one thinks and acts independently in order not to be overrun by the herd. In other words, one should never yield to the pressure of conventional thinking. Number two, one should always be skeptical of people's agendas and motives. Appearances can be deceptive. Knowing and trusting people is essential to avoid surprises and disappointment. Number three, hard work and persistence are more important than brilliance. Out of adversity comes opportunity and resiliency. Number four, if you have to make a tough, difficult, and important decision, but are in doubt over the solution or outcome, it is better to postpone the decision rather than to make a snap or an emotional decision. And finally, self-discipline is critical to climbing the ladder of success. Most leaders are disciplined and organized, and they are constantly re-educating themselves to learn new information and skills. I am frequently asked to give career advice to students. With the impact of breakthrough technologies and shifting demographics, today's students confront many competitive challenges. Your learning process must never stop. The first 2 or 3 companies you work for after college will probably not be the companies you work for at the end of your career. Reinventing yourself and rebooting your career will be a necessity in the 21st century. The speed of change is accelerating. Artificial and machine learning to find new cures for disease, biopharmaceutical research, 3D printing, advanced manufacturing, 5G communications, voice and image recognition, quantum computing should be the great innovations over the next decade. At the same time, these technological innovations will inevitably cause social, cultural, and political disruption. In my judgment, the greatest job opportunities over the next 10 years will be careers in bioscience, biotechnology, data science, computer analytics, and engineering, all of which combine the disciplines of math, statistics, computer science, graphic engineering, and software development. If you do not enjoy your career, the probability of failure and disappointment will be very high. You should pursue your passion, but make sufficient time to enjoy life and family. You should always make your family the highest priority of life. My advice to you is to be honest, work hard, say thank you, I love you, great job to someone each day. Let your handshake mean more than the signature on a contract. Dreaming does matter. It allows you to aspire to great things. Live in the moment, but plan for your future. Life is not a race, but a journey. Education and hard work are the cornerstones for a rewarding life. If you keep learning and growing each day over the course of many decades, you will be astounded by how far it will take you. Learning must be a lifetime experience. The jobs and opportunities will be different in the future because of technologies not yet created or problems not yet known. As the teacher within me, let me share with you the foundational pillars of my life. Be honest, be prepared, be sincere, be diligent, be positive, be unique, be thoughtful, be a listener, be grateful, and be generous. Anything in life is possible. However, you must ensure that the 4 C's, character, competency, curiosity, and courage, become the core elements of your life plan. Each of us has different talents, different dreams, different destinations, yet we all have the power to make a new tomorrow. The friendships you have made here and the lessons you have learned will forever impact your life. I urge each graduate to remain connected to your classmates and teachers. Wilbraham and Monson Academy has molded you in ways you may not realize today. You should return to this idyllic campus over your lifetime. Hopefully the roots planted here will blossom one day into a fulfilling and rewarding life. To the graduates of the class of 2019, you should be very proud for earning your diplomas today. Your families are especially proud of your achievements because they have supported, encouraged, and sacrificed for your educational pursuits. The root of the word commencement means to begin. Today begins a new chapter in your life's plan. May all your future chapters be filled with remarkable achievements. Congratulations to the class of 2019 and best wishes and good luck in pursuit of your.
Thank you, Mr. Shankman. It's a tremendous privilege to have you here with us today. And we have a little something for you as a token of our appreciation for everything. We have a little setup to do first. The painting we are about to present, Mr. Shankman, was created by a woman named Elizabeth Howe Lincoln, who was a prominent local artist and was married to the legendary Wilbraham Academy teacher, Mr. Roger Lincoln. His bust is in the library, who taught English here for 42 years, from 1938 to 1980. The painting depicts the Monson bell, which you all heard during the stone laying ceremony. It is the last remaining architectural remnant from the Monson Academy campus, as it now sits on this campus up the hill by Old Academy. The WMA archivist, Ms. Moran, who is holding the painting, found it on eBay last year, and we decided to purchase it for the school. When we received the painting, we discovered a collection of lineage documents attached to the back, which, with some sleuthing by Ms. Moran, gave insight to where this painting had traveled. The painting had been given as a Christmas present to a woman named Ruth Benton, from her husband named Henry Wesley Benton, who was a master at Monson Academy for 42 years, where he headed the language department and was the athletic director until he retired in 1969. The card that had accompanied the painting, when given, is still attached to the back, and it reads, "Dearest Ruth, Merry Christmas, from Wesley. I hope you like it." Before joining Monson Academy, Mr. Benton had served as an intelligence officer during World War II in North Africa and Italy, and en route to Africa had spent 3 days in a lifeboat after the ship on which he had been traveling was sunk by torpedo. Given the depth of this teacher's experience before and at Monson Academy, and Mr. Shankman's love of history, it is no wonder that Mark Shankman became close to the Bentons during his time at Monson Academy, a relationship which he speaks highly of highly and often, and we hope that this painting restores that connection for him in some small way. Mr. Shankman, this is the painting as a gift for you. We will now have a brief and special musical performance by Academy singers. They will be singing a new rendition of our school's alma mater, revised and crafted by Mr. Matheson with the help of Mr. Kelly, from an original version by Frank G. Nelson of the Monson class of 1869. It is set to the tune of Annie Lyle by H.S. Thompson of Boston, Massachusetts, one of our country's oldest melodies, but the lyrics are particular to the beauty and splendor of Wilbraham and Monson Academy. You have the lyrics in your program. Thank you, Mr. Matheson and Academy singers. Now, as we get ready to award the diplomas, I'm going to ask 8 members of the graduating class to stand when I call their name and to just remain standing for a moment so we can recognize them. These are the 8 students of the graduating class who started in our 8th grade boarding program. It's the first class of 5-year boarders that will graduate from WMA. Jason Lee, Crystal Lee, Suki Liu, Alex Zhu, Chris Yu, Stephen Yu, Gleb Zaitsev, and Albert Zhang. Let's give them a round. Thank you for your pioneering spirit and for spending 5 years with us. We're going to miss all of you. Our Dean of Faculty, Wally Swanson, will read the names of our graduates, and trustees Ray Anton and Mark Shankman, and the graduating class advisors will join me in front of the podium for the awarding of the diplomas.
Yes, because it's cum laude, so it's not, yeah. Good. Okay. Mr. Shankman, Mr. Anton, Mr. Easler, it is my honor to call forward the members of the class of 2019 who have completed all the requirements for a Wilbraham and Monson Academy diploma. First row on my left, please stand. The first row all graduate as members of the Cum Laude Society. C. Chen. Erica Lynn Convery. Maya Pedernera Ferris. Alyssa Regina Gatteron. Julia Mary Grokut. Can my colleague Meg Hutchison please join the front of the stage? Maya Hutchison Jones. John Patrick Kennedy. Adam Samuel Kulumas. That row can please sit. The next row, please rise. Graduating cum laude, Abigail Rose Lacey. Graduating cum laude, Rusudan Mumladze. Graduating cum laude, Patrick Akinyele Okubunfumi. Graduating cum laude, Selena LeGrant Rivernider. Graduating cum laude, Gokul Pushkaran Sivakumar. Graduating cum laude, Eope Sun. Graduating cum laude, Yuke Wu. Graduating cum laude, Yujia She. Graduating cum laude, Zei Yan. Zain Abal Sadek. That row, please sit. The next row, please rise. Anna Maria Axis. Maria Katerina Baltazar. Matthew Brian Banbury. Leilani Isis Bennett. Elizaveta Biukova. Kana Brajkovic. Pietro Brunello Bruni. Zimin Chen. Eric Harry Coelho. Nicholas Delude. That row, please sit. Next row, please rise. Angela Elizai. Miles Grant Anthony Everson. Julia Shea Ferrero. David William Fisher. James Michael Gagnon. Carlos Garcia Bonini. Brandon Joseph Galuni. Bassem Kasim Hernandez. Rohan Giovanni Heron. Gordon Wolfgang Hertel. That row, please sit. Next row, please rise. Victoria Isabel Hintlian. Catherine Marilee Hogue. Shohei Ishikawa. Wyatt Kareem Jackson Jr. Aaron Parker Johnson. Monson Kang. Jakob Yukin Karnovich. Noah Cantor. Could my colleague Stacy Kelly please join us on stage? Corbin Kelly. John Patrick Kendall. Daniel Ruben Klosk. Could that row please sit? Row to my right, please rise. Party at the front, please switch sides. Sarah Elizabeth Rose Kulig. Sarah Marie Labby. Min Nyok Lee. Jun Song Lee. Ka Chun Lee. Su Chin Lee. Roy Leo. That row, please sit. Next row, please rise. Yuhan Ma. Sean Patrick McLaughlin. Daniil Malikov. Jojo Noel Michael Addy. Min Nhat Nguyen. Patrick Jameson O'Connor. Christopher Ayomide Ogubufumi. Won Sik O. John William Packard. Gianna Teresa Paroli. That row, please sit. Next row, please rise. Alana R. Perkins. Gorana Pujovic. Could my colleague Crystal Robinson please join us on stage? Jack Peter Robinson. Andrei Rudenko. Ingrid Marlena Salvador. Gun Sumsuan. Camden R. Smith. Nicholas Abraham Liao Spellman. Saxon Pierce Thompson. Alan Toktasin. That row, please sit. Next row, please rise. Annalise Michelle Torres. Idan Corenton Treto. Blakely Thomas Ulmer. Elif Un. My colleague Paula Vitavelli, please join us on stage. Dylan Robert Vitavelli. Brandon A. Vitek. Haowen Wang. Yiwen Wang. Zhui Wang. Anjane L. Washington. Could that row please sit, and our last row please rise. Jackson Henry Whitlock. John Stephen Wilson. Jack Henry Woodbury. Sheehan Shu. Xiao Yu Yu. Sehui Yu. Justin Yuen. Samuel Zabolotnich. Gleb Zitsiev. Haoran Zhang. Yongwei Zhang. On behalf of the administration, faculty, and staff of the Academy, we extend our sincere congratulations to the class of 2019.
Thank you, everyone, for joining us today. I'd also like to thank the many members of our young alumni who come back to graduation like a small reunion. They're all gathered in the back, socializing at the back of the tent. We welcome all of you, class of 2019, to come back next year and do the same thing and watch your friends graduate. As we conclude, the platform party will recess first, followed by the faculty, and we will form a gauntlet out the back of the tent, through which the graduates will recess, so we have one last opportunity to congratulate them on their graduation, on their commencement. Once the graduating class has left the tent, at that time, the ceremony will have concluded, and we invite everyone to join us for a luncheon in the dining hall. Thank you.
Thank you.